Manchester United won 2-1 against Aston Villa on Sunday night, and whilst it was a difficult game for Erik ten Hag's side, they had a secret tactic which seemed to work right at the end when Scott McTominay grabbed the winner. Manchester United had to defend very astutely across the 90-minute game, with Aston Villa piling pressure on and seeming like they were going to grab the win before McTominay's headed effort landed in the back of the net. Now, United weren't perfect in this game, and they've still got a lot of improvement to make, but there was one really interesting tactical change that Erik ten Hag seemed to make, and Diogo Dalot pointed it out in one of his post-match interviews. The right-back, who has recently been seen coming inside and almost playing that inverted fullback role, told the Premier League Productions that he actually was more so focusing on playing wider to help create space for midfielders inside. He said exactly that. We wanted to attract a little bit more Ramsey to try and create more space for the midfielders. We were also predicting a little bit that they were expecting me to go into the midfield. We were thinking that if we'd done that, they would have been ready for it. So instead, we tried to open up a little bit more space in the midfield. Garnacho was coming inside and creating that doubt of the centre-back if he was going to jump in on him or not. And then we tried to find those little pockets. And that's exactly what United done. It was something of a little bit of a pattern across the 90 minutes, and they finally got their rewards late on. But looking through, and this was something that was actually coming for United. Now, if we jump into the images, and you can already see that there's an area of doubt for Matty Cash here. Bruno Fernandes has kind of taken up that position. He's just made a run in behind the defensive line, but Cash is unsure whether to kind of go with him and stay tucked in. But obviously Rashford, out of the picture here, is kind of holding his width on the left-hand side, as Dalot was doing a lot of the time on the right. And if you just come across to this next image and you see that although Rashford was actually offside in this instance, that he was able to get past Cash with that touch because he had the space and time. It was all about the timing of his run beforehand, which just kind of turned it into a non-chance. But it was something that showed the kind of approach that United were taking on those wings. And exactly what Dalot was saying about Garnacho's sort of positioning inside, creating an area of doubt for those defenders, is exactly what happened in this kind of passage of play here. You see that Rafael has the ball at the back of the defence, and Garnacho, who has been really good on the right wing, but in recent games it's often been from that position that Dalot's at, right outside to the wing, holding the width. But instead, he's the one coming inside and kind of making a decision to be made for Villa's left back there. You see, he's not entirely sure whether to stick with that run that Diogo Dalot is making in on the far side there, or follow Garnacho's run inside, because he's kind of found that pocket in behind Douglas Luiz and in front of the defensive line. Now, if you go on and you see what happens in this kind of passage of play, is Dalot gets the ball on the right. It's kind of recycled a little bit, and in the second phase of that play, Dalot is able to swing a ball into Højlund, who makes a really good run in behind the centre-back there. And this is how close he was. This is quite interesting as well, because obviously this kind of chance doesn't get picked up on XG because Højlund is narrowly misses the chance. But that is a huge chance for United, and it's just a couple of inches away from Højlund kind of at least putting that on target or getting a header towards the goal. So yeah, that's kind of the first big example in this game of that kind of passage which Dalot was speaking about. And obviously Villa probably weren't expecting that, because in a lot of recent games Dalot has been inverted into the midfield with Garnacho out wide. So it was something which kind of confused them, and we'll see that it did later lead to the winning goal. We'll just have another look at another kind of half chance that United got through this same method again. It was something that was cropping up every kind of now and then. Obviously United weren't having the lion's share of possession, and a lot of their other chances came through quick transitions. But when they were kind of getting the ball and progressing it a little bit through the centre of the field, they were looking for these kind of balls to the wide areas. You see here, Harry Maguire has the ball and he's about to play that kind of line splitting pass to Casemiro just in between Villa's front two. Now you look at both Bruno and Garnacho in that far side, and they're both doing exactly what was said in Dallow's quote. They're creating that doubt for this defender who's just in screen, but he has out of screen got Dallow right on this this right flank. Now there's a really big area of doubt there because, like I said before, both of these players highlighted are in an area where they're just in behind Villa's midfield four, and they can create problems for that back line. So he's not looking to stay with Dallow on that right wing because he's got trouble inside. Now you look how it materialises, and he's still got that area of doubt as Casemiro gets the ball, and he's able to play it in behind to Dallow, who is beaten by Emi Martinez, who done a really good sweeping action, but the kind of intent for United was always there throughout the game, even if they were struggling throughout periods and not controlling the ball massively. Dallow's intent throughout the game was really, really good. I mean, he was really solid defensively, which is something he gets flack for, even though I think personally that he's quite a solid defender. Obviously, he's compared to Aaron Wan-Bissaka, who's a freak of nature 1v1. But Dallow's really looking solid mostly defensively this season, apart from a couple of lapses in concentration at the back post. But his ability to kind of hold that defensive position and do quite well in that area, and then also support the attack and create angles and create passing lanes for his teammates, is something that benefits United going forward massively. Now you see in this instance, Garnacho is kind of squaring up his man in the box. He doesn't really have enough space there to kind of, and he's at a standstill, that he can't really create that space to go inside. He's got a couple of Villa players blocking that kind of entrance as well. And you see Dallow from being in a defensive position, that he's able to make this overlap and create space for a cross, which he actually cuts back to Kobbie Mainoo, which ends in a blocked chance for Garnacho. And this kind of move that United were working on throughout the game finally came to fruition in the 86th minute when Scott McTominay scored that winner. Now, if we look through that passage of play quite slowly, you'll really see the kind of impact which Dallow was saying about that area of doubt for the defender. And Villa were also doing this on United's side as well and creating some good chances, it's important to note. But United were doing well with it as well, and they finally came out on top. Now, if you're looking at this first image, you can see Dallow doing exactly what he was saying beforehand. He is right against that touchline, and he's causing the Villa fullback or winger there to really keep an eye on him, essentially. He's actually moving across, and that means that the next player in that Villa back line, either the left centre-back or left back, I can't really make it out right there, but he can't stay with Kobbie Mainoo because Bruno is right there willing to take the ball from Varane, ball to feet, and if he stays with Kobbie Mainoo, that gives Bruno the time to turn and assess his options and potentially play another pass into a more dangerous area. So he follows Bruno. And if you just see, that creates a load of space for Kobbie Mainoo there, who actually times his run against a Villa back line, which is very well known for their ability to play a lot of players offside. The way which he holds his run and curves it to ensure that he stays onside to receive this ball from Rafa Varane in a minute. It just shows his kind of experience at such a young age already. It's another example of that, and he had a very good game otherwise as well. So you see there, he's following Bruno inside, and that creates that bundle of space. And also this player next to Dallow can't cover because Dallow's right there for the ball to feet as well. So United kind of have that overload right there off the ball in order, and it's a great pass from Varane as well to find Mainoo in behind. Now you see, this is exactly what Dallow is speaking about, and this ball creates even further doubt for the Villa back line, who end up double teaming Mainoo right there, and Dallow has a lot of space right on the touchline to receive the ball. But before he receives the ball, Mainoo needs to get it to him, and this was a really underrated part of that goal. His ability to kind of evade the pressure of those two Villa players with a quick kind of two-touch and set Dalot up perfectly. He's able to swing this ball in first time, and of course we see Scott McTominay with a towering header right into the back of the net to win United the game. Now it all comes back to that second image there, where Bruno, the man inside who previously was Garnacho in moments in the first half, he has attracted that space and allowed Kobe to just move right in behind with no one with him. It also takes Kobe Mainoo to keep the ball alive and set Dalot up. It takes a brilliant cross from the right back and a towering header from McTominay. But that was all kind of allowed to happen through that tactic that United had throughout the game. Now, of course, you can complain that United aren't where they should be and that there are still a lot of things to fix in this team right now. But they were able to go to Aston Villa away, who have only lost 3 games at Villa Park in all competitions, 2 of them being in the last few weeks, and be able to grind out a result with some brilliant defensive performances, some really good displays in the front line again. Again, Rasmus Højlund getting on the score sheet, which can only be another positive. There's things to improve, but United were able to get the win in this game. And this kind of move was something that I noticed throughout the game, and looking back throughout the game, it was something that they were looking at doing constantly. And whilst they were not really able to do it as much as they probably would have liked to, partly because Villa were really good. Like you'd expect, Villa were playing good football for a lot of that game. United can't go from down here to up there in a matter of weeks with a few players back. Of course, it's helped Casemiro, Maguire, Varane in there, of course Martinez before we got injured again, Rashford back in again. You've got the team, of course. They don't just instantly click again. They need to get something going, and whether they do and whether they do improve, we don't know that. But we can talk about the positives, and this certainly was one. So let me know what you thought about the game in the comments below. Let me know if you kind of noticed this pattern as well and what you thought of it. Let me know what you think of Diego Dalot's performances this season, because I think he's been excellent and a potential player of the year candidate if he continues this form. But a lot of people disagree, so it's a sticking point. But I don't think many can disagree about that cross and about that performance on Sunday afternoon from the Portuguese right back. So that's all from me. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe to the channel. Stick our notifications bell on, as we're looking to keep kind of giving you some Manchester United based content alongside the podcast content, which we're also sticking out. And on that, I'll see you in the next one.